In theory, I should be live now, and as per usual, please bear with me just a moment while I get my tools up and running. There we go. Alright, should be good now. So, in between episodes, I did do a little bit more grinding. I'm in a pretty good place where I left off, and you know, assuming I can manage the length for the stream without my voice starting to feel like I'm, I don't know, chewing on glass. As long as I can manage to stick it through, I think we're going to aim for at least the primary endgame content for this episode for this first disc. So, yeah, with that said, let's see where we're going. I do have a couple of emails here to get some characterizations out of the way. Oh, well, shit. Natsume's legit just like, yeah, so let me give you my full... Damn, she might as well just give me the address she lives at or something, because, like, that is way too much information to ever be giving out online. Real name, Natsume Oguro. So she actually named her character after herself. Not all that uncommon. I pretty much do that pretty often now myself. Alright, 9th grade, 15 years old. Yeah, I think for Kite, that's not Danger Zone. I think Kite's canonically in high school. But, like, damn. I'm a librarian at the school. I started the game to change myself. Okay, so I did read into that appropriately. I'll probably cause lots of trouble. But thanks for having me on your team. Well, at least that's relatable. Trouble causing. Yeah, okay, so she is older than Kite. We don't have to worry about that level of stranger danger, thank goodness. You're a year older than me. I only started playing this game recently too. It's been fun. Gonna go with no on that one. Let's go with, we're in 8th grade too. I feel like sending the other option is really dangerous. Alright, so I don't remember. Oh man, a mollusk? As if there's anything else? What? Octopi are kind of funny. You can't blame them for anything. Wait. Okay, let's go with that, because at least that's a question. But what was she... things I like, raw food. Okay, so this was about the things I like, raw food, octopus. Okay. So I'm actually not much of an octopus fan. I've eaten octopus. Weirdly enough, as much as I'm not a big fan of octopus, I'm a big fan of squid. If I were to try and explain why, the suction cups are a big texture change from the octopus tentacle. There's something about the suction cups that are just a little weird. And for the record, I've only had it cooked. I haven't eaten raw octopus. Hey, Keegs, welcome in. How are things going? Hopefully things are going well. And then the other thing is octopus has so much more of a, in my opinion at least, a fishy, pungent ocean taste. And squid is a lot more tame and neutral and is honestly a really good vehicle for something. It's something chewy and palatable and kind of fun as a texture, especially if you get it fried. But it's just a great vehicle for sauces as well. So if you like Asian dipping sauces, squid is just top tier. My name is from a character in the oh boy, Kuwabatake Sanjuro in the classic film Yojimbo. Now, Yojimbo is a movie that I've heard about before. I probably first heard it from .hack. But it's one of those samurai movies that I've not seen, but it's one I've heard enough about that, you know, probably should have it on my list at some point. I thought it was an archaic name, Old Man, but it was from a character in a movie. That's a pretty cool name. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. All right, so I think that answers up the email responses I had so far. I'm probably going to get a few more, but luckily we do have a few more actual mainline missions to do as well. Hey Rich, how are things going? Hopefully things are going well. Weird it wouldn't send my first message, and it wasn't anything bad. Well, YouTube has been, I don't know if there's anything major that's happened as of recently, but something about YouTube's, censorship systems have been really rough. I think Rigid Rat did a video recently where he was, give me 1 second, guys.
Alrighty, I'm coming.
Did a video recently where he was laying down eating chips, and I don't even remember how I had to reword it, but I put an original comment on his video that I went back to check later just to see if he had seen it and responded to it or anything. And the comment got removed, and so I just left a similar but slightly different one. And it was literally like the content was basically just, yeah, I kind of think I'd prefer the second bag of chips, but the first one, here's a funny comment, right? And like YouTube is just like, no, we can't have even the tamest of meme humor. So yeah, that was a weird one. But I think this area, yeah, it's level 23. So for the record, I am a little above that. So we should be able to blast right through here. I'm also stocked up on items as well as speed talismans and things like that. So I should be able to just kind of blitz right through and clear this area. And I think after this one, we get a realization moment, and I might have to grind for a specific virus core or two. But after that, I think we're kind of getting right near the end. You'll meet me? Black Rose, we are like already on our way out through this. So let me pop the speed charm. Realistically, I only have to put it on myself because everybody else automatically follows me through major areas. I do want to grab this while I'm here. And yeah, we'll deal with this. These guys are a little bit of a pain. They do a lot of the, yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, if they can start getting the confusions out and hit everybody, it can be really bad really fast. Alright, yeah, she's getting a little rough on me. Alright, there we go. Dealt with, and we didn't end confused, so I don't have to go down. We don't have to burn through a resurrect. Doing pretty good. Plan on trying calamari soon. Again, like I mentioned, it's one of those things that a lot of people are scared off of, but it's genuinely a super tame option as far as the realm of like eating weird foods. In fact, it's such a tame option that for people who are picky but wanting to explore, I actually think is a very safe option for people to do. Go somewhere where you can get it battered and fried. Make sure that they at least have an Asian sauce that they really like. Get that sauce served on the side. Have them try the fried calamari. Don't get it raw. Raw is a little bit more scary for a lot of people. I think it's just because welcome to America, where fried everything is just, you know, I'd hate to say it, but deep fried batter is basically our bread and butter. All right, let's see here. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Wait, this could be bad. I don't have a lot here. I need to keep my Dante's blade, and I want my... Yeah, I'm just not going to put anything in there. I'm going to have to pass on that. And I'm not even going to do this fight. I am just going to go right into the disturbing mouth of the eternally suffering giant man. Hey, Rigid. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully things are going well. Yeah, since you were not here when I left when I made the initial statement, my first comment on your video actually got removed by YouTube for whatever reason. So I did see that you saw the second one I posted and responded to it, but yeah, that was kind of fun. YouTube not happy. Alright, let's deal with... yeah, we'll go with that one. Although, honestly, I really picked poor. And I'm locked in place. Okay, first aid. Thunder coil, and... shit! I guess I'm just gonna do it anyways. I was worried that the mimic was still up and was gonna start confusing things. I really should focus on that guy first. That's the problem enemy of this area. Anyways, let me keep going through here. YouTube won't allow meme humor. Guess we can't mention what Eevee evolves into anymore then. Well, I certainly know you can't do the entirety of the copy and paste of that because YouTube gets mad about some of the language there, but, you know, again, same thing. Get a little creative with your wordplay and should be able to make it happen. Flareon, while not the best, is still a pretty decent Pokemon. Look, Flareon is big, fluffy, cuddly boy. And I feel like the context of what I just said and the way people take it, and especially the way people treat Vaporeon, is going to be taken all kinds of the wrong way, and YouTube will not like that either. According to its copy pasta, Flareon is the most huggable one. Better late than never. I was just talking to my housemate. Ooh! Blame it on the lag. Absolutely. Gaming, look, gamer culture is the thing here. I actually have, and this is going to be really weird. I think I mentioned back during the COVID pandemic, right, that one of my good friends was the manager at the once upon a time local to me GameStop, but, you know, I've moved around and GameStop started closing a whole bunch of locations and yada yada yada, all this, that, and the other thing, right? So, that man, unfortunately, the absolute legend that he was, you know, big dick alpha Chad, but he did, unfortunately, pass during the COVID pandemic situation. But before he did, him and I got together and they were doing some changes at the location, and I actually got to walk away with the open sign that they had in their window for years. And again, it's one of those things that means nothing to most people. I have an open sign outside of my game room, and I actually light it up. Again, it's just for when people come by, and usually if people come by, it's because something's going on, especially if they're gonna shout out to me. But yeah, it's kind of just my, hey, I'm gonna be streaming or recording, so try not to, you know, be too noisy and all of that. But yeah, it's again, gaming culture, but also things that are meaningful. I think that GameStop has since closed down, unfortunately, but it's one of those things that is just, I hope it never goes out. I hope it never dies. But even if it does, I will maintain holding on to that because it's kind of a big deal to me. But also, again, something about it very, very nerd culture core in that sense. And I love having that kind of stuff. Yeah, all except Flareon goes in a similar way. I didn't know. Wait. I almost want to ask, but I feel like this is... No, wait. This is gonna go all kinds of bad. But here's the thing, like... It's bad. It's dumb. Oh. Okay, so... I can understand the Flareon one. I can kind of understand the Sylveon one. If there's one for based Eevee, I am even more disturbed. But, like, Glaceon has got to have, like, some sort of problem there. And, I mean, same thing with Jolteon, right? Like, there can't... No. Just no. And then, unfortunately, it looks like out in Keeg's areas, his GameStop is closed. And as for Richard, the GameStop near my old house used to be called EB Games. Yeah, so mine was Funko Land that became EB Games and then became GameStop. And then they opened a GameStop across the street. And then that original GameStop that was EB Games that then was Funko Land got closed down, and they just left the other one open, and that is the one that the guy I'm referencing had been at for years and years and years and years. Exactly! Like, frostbite's gotta be a thing, right? Like, you don't want to put your... through that, right? Like, no, please, God, no. Alright, we're just gonna push our way through here real quick. Alright, there's a bunch of armored shoguns, so we can just wail on all of them with that and be done with this issue real quick. I don't know if I've done any data draining on any armored shoguns. It might be something I'm looking into doing, maybe? Also, I do want to point something out with what I have here. So, I'm not sure which way I'm going to go when I actually go fight Skeith in this game. But, like, I've got different attacks here. If he's resistant to fire and darkness, I might switch over to this and just rely on staccato. Master Blades is actually, by all of the way I tend to play, inferior to Dante's Blades. However, the critical hit effect when it goes off, if it goes off, is a lot of damage really fast. Skill drain just lets me keep pumping out my skills and spells and all of that stuff, but like, critical damage is so good in this. It's basically, you know how when there is a spell getting cast and it's just a big dump of crazy damage because there's elemental damage done to it? It's basically that. Snappy Grass. Oh shoot, I have a very specific item to deal with too. I completely forgot about this. I need to see if I can summon Mia. I actually managed to find some aromatic grass. And I can't remember if she does anything important when you give it to her. Alright, so we made it all the way to the Got statue here. Really not a whole lot of anything. Alright, so we're all the way at the bottom, so whatever's supposed to happen here, it should be coming up. There we go.
Here she is.
I see Glaceon as the basic white girl pick as far as evolutions go. Glaceon does get access to Ice Fang, literally Frostbite, yes. But that's... Look, there's... The context of the statement is with the Vaporeon copy-paste. So, yeah. I actually didn't look up Glaceon until just now. I found a copy pasta that is the best summer day companion. It's much shorter and less sciencey, but I was told all except Flareon was NSFW. I guess not really. On the one hand, I suppose, thank God. My general area has a GameStop, a chain of secondhand game stores called Disc Replay. We actually have a couple of Disc Replays in my general area as well. It's a little bit of a drive, but I know of, I think, 2. We also have a very limited local store, which I am starting to think might just be a passion project of the guy, because I think he's probably got his hands in a lot of, building ownership and rental space, so he's probably making the bulk of what he actually does off of all of that, and probably just financing this passion project game store off of it. But I am speculative, and I have never asked, nor do I necessarily plan to, that him and I might be somewhat distantly related. I won't get into name drops of any sort, but I have an aunt that married into my family, with a very unique last name, and this store owner shares that last name as well. Again, it's a very unique name, not very commonly seen, And at least going off of what I know of him as a person, I would suspect that his situation is he probably married into that family or in some way, shape, or form. So through a series of, pond jumping, but him and I might actually be related, which would be kind of interesting, especially with my serious passion to gaming as well. Sorry, gotta grab a drink. Alright, who are we here to meet?
Hello.
Oh, okay, shit, she's meeting with a system admin. Alright, so this is where we're starting to get into some very important characters to know.
Meg, what's the name of the area Alf went to?
Forget about it.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
I just posted the keywords to that area on the board, but it seems to be dangerous. I'm sorry.
So yeah, she posted the area, got called out by a system admin,
She's gone.
and it was immediately just like
But you heard what she
scared to the
said.
point of not wanting to repeat it later.
Yeah, the board.
Alright, so we've got to gate out real quick and check to see what's going on the board. And if I'm not mistaken, those words are probably either removed or altered by now. Because this game loves to be legit just like, nope, go all in on the conspiracy theories. Yep, there we go. Also, what do we have here to Orca? The first day I logged in, a guy named Orca was really helpful. God damn, Orca's just out here being the gaming goat. Orca healed me. It was the descendants of... Oh, okay, so this is where we're getting some of the lore behind Orca. So Orca and Balmung are the two characters that got the title within the game, the Descendants of Fianna. They are the only ones that cleared the One Sin event. I haven't seen an enemy called the One Sin. Where is it? And what's the Descendants of Fianna? The One Sin was a limited time character, so it's not around. It was a pain to kill it. Descendants of Fianna is a name for Balmung of the Azure Sea and Orca of the Azure Sky and Orca of the Azure Sea. They are the best. Really cool. I'm gonna celery of vitamin. Alright, that'd be a fun one. Alright, what else do we have in here? Ultimate is got some updates. Alright, not gonna worry about that. Network safety law. I'm all for reform of the network safety law. You can't just kill someone because they just created some computer virus. Oh shit, right. This is in the lore of .hack. I think this is tied to, is it Jupiter's Kiss or Pluto's Kiss? It's one of those. I think it's Pluto's Kiss actually. In which they caused a lot of damage with a virus that I can't even recall if they necessarily intentionally put out or knew exactly how damaging it was going to be. I can't remember the specifics on that, but I seem to recall it was a kid that was put to death. I think we got a little bit of internet coverage on that, on the email a while back. Yeah, alright, check the emails first. Message deleted. What the hell are we supposed to do? It's just screaming conspiracy. Yeah, but I love conspiracies. Alright, what do we got here on the Comatose story? Oh, you do have a couple. I missed that part of the comment. And a privately owned game store or two. Nice. There was someone in the Catholic school I was in who had my last name. No relation, though my brother was in the same school, so he had the same last name too. I can easily, from your username, make an assumption on your last name, and I can tell you that, while not as incredibly common as a John Smith, it is not particularly rare either. And I will say the one I'm referencing is definitely, it's not as rare as mine, but definitely a little bit more rare. My last name is actually so rare that It is unfortunately a dying out name. As far as the young men who carry it, there's myself, my brother, and I believe we have like a second cousin out there who has the last name as well, but they are a branch off family. As far as I believe young men who carry the name, that are tied to the direct lineage line, it's literally my brother and I, and we're all that's left, and my brother's not going to have any blood offspring, so you know, fingers crossed that I'm going to be able to make that happen, but we might be looking at possibly the last generation of my bloodline here. Now I'm going to do my damnedest, but yeah. Illuminati confirmed. Alright. 2 high school students in Kanazawa City of Ishikawa Prefecture were found unconscious in their club room. One has regained consciousness at the hospital, but the other, Tomonori Kazumi, is still in a coma. 1 second. No drugs or any other addictive medications were found in either of their systems upon examination. The cause of their unconsciousness is still under investigation. What else do we got here? Alright. At a special congressional session today, debate began on amending the network law that prohibits any action or gathering that may cause the network to function improperly, or is that a legal term here? I mean, welcome to, listening to any congressional caucus in any nation. It's terrible terminology. Unsmoothly, resulting in damage and obstruction. That's really vague. The law was passed. I think this game takes place in like 2010. So, yeah, I'm supposed to be playing a game that takes place in the future that is now pretty well in the past. The law was passed in 2003 to conform with the international laws regulated by the leadership of the World Network Council. The death sentence, the maximum penalty under the law, has been handed down to the culprit responsible for the December 2003 outbreak. Okay, so this was the Deadly Flash, not Pluto's Kiss. This was the worst computer virus outbreak in the previous network era. The sentence has not yet been carried out. The main focus of the debate has been whether or not to remove the death penalty from the law. The significance and existence of the law itself is being hotly debated, as no major cybercrime has occurred since the distribution of Ultimate, which is the operating system we are running on here in the game, and many believe that there is no danger in the foreseeable future. Alright, let's hop back in. I believe we're about to hear from another major player. One of my favorite characters. Alright, so let me go through here. I looked through some of those evolution copy pastas. Jolteon is for masochists. Okay. I am left uncomfortable. Alright, so I do have... Alright, I want to run through here and check a few areas just to see if something comes up. But I also might jump over to the Delta server. I'm just looking around to see, because if there is a character that is not running around and they are just kind of standing somewhere menacingly, that's usually a good sign that somebody has something important to say. Also, there's no more baby grunties because I have unlocked every one of the grunties. Alright, I don't see anything. Can I use a... Oh, thought it'd be really cool to be able to use a speed charm well inside... I suppose within the greater lore that, at least at this time, I believe most of the server areas are supposed to be kind of safe spaces. That would be why they're just going to toggle everything off, but also kind of a dick move that I can't just, pop a buff item. Alright, let's hop over to the Delta server and do the same thing real quick, just make sure I'm not missing anything. E.L. James. Write that down. Write that down. I don't know who E.L. James is, but that sounds extra disturbing. Again, like I said, something about Jolteon screamed potentially not good. Again, I would say the same thing about Glaceon. Like, there's no way Glaceon is intended to be... Yeah. If it's meant to be, like, the whole not safe for work isms, that's... Look, let's be honest, they're all a no-go. But some are... not morally worse than others. They're all morally and ethically bad, but the action just seems so bad.
Right, let's go.
Awesome, we got Mia here. All right, shoot over this way. Let me withdraw the items. It's in here somewhere. The aromatic grass. All right, Mia, where you at? Now, I suppose I could trade this for something she has, but I don't know if there's, like, special dialogue here.
I can't wait to see the power of the bracelet today.
Well, you're not going to see it today. All right, let's gift the aromatic grass.
Thank you. I feel sort of embarrassed thanking you like this.
Oh. Well,
I can't wait.
okay, that was... well, you are taken. Elk will be very disappointed if that is altered in any way, shape, or form by me. Oh, hey, I did get new mail, just not what I expected. Alright, let's keep going on here. Fun fact, did you know that the red panda was referred to as the panda before the giant panda was even discovered? No, I didn't. The name is derived from Ponas, meaning bamboo eater. So the panda we all know and love stole the popularity from the original. Oh, man. There's a joke I could make there, but not on YouTube. Chinese. Oh, sorry, what? Anyways, okay, that's the 50 Shades of Grey author. Keegs, I just want to say, you and Richard are the ones that I would expect to know that, and for two very different reasons. Richard would know it because the man reads all kinds of literature. You would know it because you partake in a lot of cultural practices. I learned that from Casual Geographic video and somehow memorized it. Meanwhile, I forgot my own tasks halfway through doing them sometimes. Join the club. Yeah, the author of 50 Shades of Grey, which is a masochist type of story. Yes, we are, I assume, all fairly somewhat familiar with the concepts within that story. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, so I think we're getting some information about Skeith. Something run. Oh, I can't run anymore. If Skeith catches me, there's... that I can't figure out. There's still time. There's still time. Something come. There's time come. Help me. Something. That one's a little bit rough for me, but I think the general message is understood. This is the deleted post. Meg, chosen hopeless nothingness. He said he saw a girl and a guy with a red wand playing tag. I received an email from Elf's family which said he slipped into a coma while playing the game. Oh, wait! Shit, okay, hold on. The data volume is increasing in Chosen Hopeless Nothingness. There might be something there. Alright, I think this is the, I think this is kind of telling me that, congratulations, you are at endgame territory. However, if he only recently slipped into a coma, then that kind of implies... Which one is he? Okay, which one is still in the coma? Tominari Kasumi. He might be Tominori Kasumi. What was his, elf? Alright. I think in the Wikipedias for this game, the fan Wikipedia, there's a lot of details that you can read into on a lot of the stuff. Obviously, I've probably done that here and there more than once. I don't need to, announce that to the world because it's probably pretty obvious. I'm a bit of a fan. But I don't remember details specifically. But there are some characters that you can kind of get a lot of details about who they are in the real world. Some of these characters also get referenced in other media forms as well. And some of these characters are carryover players between this game and the GU series, which is also a relaunch of the world, because bad things happen to CC Corp and what they've quote-unquote created here. I actually have not read 50 Shades, believe it or not. That actually kind of surprises me, not because I think that it's a series that you would particularly be strongly inclined towards reading, because I don't think it is, but just because I think, again, this is just me inferring from my takeaway from you as a person, that controversial stories, especially in written literature, would be something that you'd have at least a little bit of a social draw into.
Where are you going without me?
It might be there.
Oh, we've got to have the dramatic anime moment.
The bastard that got Yasuhiko.
So you're gonna defeat it?
I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it.
You have to. I'm going with you. Don't even try to stop me.
Look, I'm well understanding the situation here, and I will absolutely add you to the party. But just so you know, Black Rose, it is not going to be just you and I. I am absolutely going to be dragging someone completely unrelated to all of this with us. Because Mistral is the GOAT. Honestly, Mistral is such, a beloved character within this, franchise that, oh, you know what? I do have something else I want to get to. I'm gonna log out and I will have to set this back up in a second. Okay, bear with me. I'm going somewhere with this. There's something I want to share. So, I've mentioned before that .hack has a wide range of media, information and all that stuff, right? There is a manga that takes place after this game, but I believe after this game, and I believe after the .hack Sign anime, but before .hack GU, in which Kite's character and Black Rose's character get released as a public contest reward based on the famous hackers, which obviously by the end of all of these games and .hack Sign are kind of a big deal. But also there are other characters that come into play and other expanded elements to the world game that you get to experience there, as well as a continuation of certain issues and getting to meet more about Aura and all of what she has going on. But what I want to get into is going off of preferences from, so that's .hack Sign, Going off of various preferences from Rigid, I kind of want to showcase. Okay, yeah, so these are wallpapers from that manga. And it's a manga, not a novel, and there is an anime to it as well. What is it? Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight Bracelet, I believe. Yeah, okay, so it's just these two. And I actually think you would enjoy, if I was gonna say what is the Dot Hack series that I think would be the open the door moment for you if you were to have one, I think that would be it. I won't get into too many details, but I think there's enough there that would tickle your fancy on a personal level there. Anyways, back into the game. Richie here has always struck me as very well read. Exactly. And again, the intention there was not Richie would read filth, but that it's a taboo book. It's not like banned or anything, but for many people, it's a taboo book, but also influential, massive, with a large audience. And I think that there is a certain amount of intrigue that conceptually brings with it, you know, just what is it, just how bad is it, just what direction does it go, is there a grander story? Those are the kind of things that I could see Rich being what's the word I'm looking for, grabbed by as far as you know, intrigue goes. All right, so I believe this is also going to be very clearly protected. Dot hackers, there's a joke about... Oh, okay, well, let me just take a sip of my drink there. Yeah. All right, we're getting into the big one here. Also, I love that going all the way from when Kite first used the bracelet with the streaming to this now, and it's just like, nope, this is just what I gotta do. Now it's just the absolute basic, time to get to work. Oh, I kind of like that glow effect.
The bracelet.
The way it hits in here at night.
Shining.
My bracelet is angry. The world is glitching. Aptorv is a great one to get. Hold up, I wanna make the most of this. Let's pop the speed charm, and I don't even care. Battle mode can be going all at once. I'm blitzing out. Let's go. Honestly, both of them could drop right now, and as long as I can get away from combat and manage to get to the dungeon, there we go. It's not going to be too big of an issue because I will be able to resurrect them. We'll lose the effects of Aptorv on them, which would suck for Black Rose, but you know. Point is, I want to get in here and keep it on me as much as I can. Alright. Alright, I think this guy is... Oh, it's Earth. Okay, I thought it was... I thought this was one of the lightning ones. Point is, I am just going to be dealing with issues as fast as I can. The longer I can keep Aptorv active on me, the better it will be. But yeah, like I said, I definitely stocked up. I'm not as, you know, fully decked out as I probably could be, especially when I don't realize that that was a thing I was going to suffer. Alright, another resurrect, good to have, especially when I'm making dumb decisions. But yeah, I've got options here. I'm such a bad influence. Oh, you know, I would say join the club, but I think in this moment, with that last one, you probably have me beat well enough. That is coming out a little wrong, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, this men here is a big problem. Feminist reference when the men here are a problem. Alright, let's get you out of here. Alright, yeah, I'm a little roughed up, but it's dealt with. Do I have... Alright, I have rep, but I have no magic. Alright. Luckily, I bought a buttload of those. And I don't think this dungeon is particularly long. I actually think this dungeon is rather short considering it's the final dungeon of this game. But I think that is also very intentional because, again, the fight here is ridiculously long. Alright, you guys deal with your issue. I'm gonna try to focus on this guy. Point is, until we deal with both of these guys, nothing's really gonna end. Alright, so you guys pop your skills. I'm gonna have to use a Mage's Soul. I almost feel like I might not have bought enough Mage's Souls. Alright, if he doesn't go down... Okay. Let me just... Okay, now he's definitely gone. Sweet. Alright, definitely got a few fights to go through here. How can we come to a consensus if we aren't willing to... Look. That's... Honestly, there might be some, like, wildly weird validity to exactly what you just said. And, I mean, look, I'm gonna hate myself for saying this, but hear me out. Wow, that was terrible. Alright. If, instead of going to war, our, you know, political world leaders just went to, like, non-pedophilic gay orgies and, you know, dealt with their sexual frustrations with each other that way, we'd probably have less issues in the world. Just saying. You know, if the rich and powerful would just beat each other's meat, we'd probably all be better off for it, right? God, there's so many of these guys. Alright, hold up. I'm gonna get over here and join with these guys, because Mistral is being targeted, and that is bad. That is the definition of bad right now. Alright. You can't possibly recover the other one again, right? Thunder Coil's useless! Alright, where's the other guy? Already dealt with, sweet. And for the record, I very clearly referenced the not island issue there, right? I'm just talking like if the option is go to war, or as a nation we just have to accept the fact that a couple of old men are gonna beat each other off in a back room somewhere. Look, I feel like I think even the people who are like super anti-gay might just be like, look, probably better than war. I think there's some logic there. The hell with the red scissors? All right. These are definitely an enemy I have not data drained yet, so let's make that happen. Well, I got dick all for it there.
Let's drive!
Oh shoot. Yeah, let's get over there and first aid. Keep ourselves pretty well topped off. I'm surprised that Mistral is doing as well as she is on all of these. God, it's so much better when there's only one of them and we just all agree to just stomp its ass out of the reality. Yeah, almost made that mistake again. Fortune wire. I'm getting a little excited. I haven't beaten a full .hack disc release in many years. I've played, I've gone through and like revisited like my old file for like quarantine and all of that, but like to actually sit down and say I'm going to play through. Wait, hold on. Was the other one? Oh, well, okay. There we go. So yeah, first of all, being able to finish the entire disc is going to be really fun, but to be able to have the rest to look forward to. Because again, I think I've mentioned this before. The first disc is definitely the weakest story. There's the least story. It sets up a lot of the crazy stuff going on, but it really doesn't give you a whole lot of conclusion or build up. It's really just setting a lot of groundwork and then giving you one thread to finish up on, which is obviously the Skeith reference. And son of a bitch, that's a lot of fighting. Luckily, I actually think we have access to a lot of options here for good damage. And I have no interest in opening up any drop treasure chests unless they are like right in front of me. I say as I run off and open one that was, I mean, it was kind of right in front of me. Alright, couple of red scissors. Again, not too bad. Alright, but it's definitely going to get resurrected. I almost think, obviously, given that I am having to fight so many enemies, maybe I should swap over to the other one, because it would at least leave me with the SP drain skill, which I believe is passive. I think, like, critical hit is one that has to proc, but I think the SP drain is as long as I hit them, I get that effect. Oh, thank you. Give me the items all day long. I'll take that over having to deal with the actual combat a lot right now. But the other one is useless! Alright, there we go. Son of a bitch! There we go, that'll hit both. Alright, so pop the first aid. I think this is gonna be the last floor before we actually get to the floor with Skeith. I think it's basement 5. I don't know why I feel so confident that it's basement 5, but it just, something in my brain says so. I also think that it's like very obvious when you're gonna walk into it. It's got the like flame floor and everything. Yeah. All right. So give me just one moment. I'm gonna step away for a minute here, but I will be right back. Sorry about that. While I was gone, it looks like my big old puppy dog came in and decided to lay down in the corner again. So, I guess I have a little bit of a captive audience now. Ian is now loading. Please wait and don't turn off the power. Yeah, not for this game. That, there are historical references as to why that might be a bad idea. Alright, so everyone's pretty well in a decent spot. Let me see. I don't remember if using these disappears when the fight starts. I hope not, but I'm just gonna pump and dump these on everybody. I don't know if it's a waste, but I'm going to assume it to not be. I'm also gonna switch over to... Man, staccato is good. Again, the many hits is a big deal, but I want that accuracy. Alright, so I think Twin Darkness is going to be a big one for me to rely on. Alright, let's go back to pumping all of these onto everybody, and I'm just going to stack these up. Attack goes up, accuracy goes up, resistance goes up. Put that on everything for everybody, including but not limited to the speed up. I'm giving everyone everything. I do not want this bastard to get away from anyone at all for any reason, because this is entirely a game about doing enough damage to beat the machine. Alright, that's not gonna serve anything here right now, so Speed Charm. Unfortunately, these do take a little bit to pop off. And honestly, I don't need one on Mistral, because she quite literally is not, she is at her best not moving. Do not move, keep casting spells. Alright, I'm gonna mute myself for a little bit while we let this big one play out.
I see you received the mail I sent you. Yet, however, it's too late.
Wait! There's something I have to ask you.
So yeah, they, again, same thing with Orca. She gets legit crucified. But that's the big setup. Everything begins now. Deal with the big issue. And I believe even the visual for this ends up having meaning that gets explained, I believe, starting in the second disc. But yeah, the idea that even the introductions for the enemies has meaning within the deeper lore. All right. Yeah, everybody just do not stop hitting it very hard. Holy shit. I got fucking dropped. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and wail on it normally for a bit. I believe there's also a whole thing about this thing changing a little bit afterwards. All right, I'm gonna put my physical defense back up. And maybe I should be sent to the back line and just let Black Rose take the hits for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna go take my place as the healing bitch for a little bit, because Mistral cannot be allowed to go down. All right, keep pumping all of these. Where's my Mage's Souls? This is so much just item management. Alright, that's gonna hurt. I think one of us are getting data drained. What's worse is he definitely picked the highlight character to do that too. Alright. Restorative. Antidote. I forgot to give a bunch of these to both of them in case I end up being the one data drained. That's gonna come back and bite me in the ass heavily. Alright, I can finally get in there and do a little bit of damage. But yeah, I mentioned before that this gets to be a little stupid. And I think, again, I'm going heavily off of as I recall it playing out. It's gonna hurt Black Rose a lot, but not enough to take her out. Mistral's not done. I seem to recall that this is the worst offense for this level of the entire boss fight has you sitting in menu systems. I think a lot of the other ones have a lot better balance to their combat. The big problem with this game, with it being the first disc, is actually kind of the entire point of it. Alright, this one's gonna hurt again. So, this game, as a franchise, the entirety of the Dot Hack video games, they're actually, you can play this game right now and hit your max level, but the levels that you have available to you are pretty much level capped at about 30. And by the time you hit level 32, your experience falls off so much that you're actually in a rough position as far as trying to build yourself up further. Alright, I don't... Okay, there we go. Okay, I still need to be able to get to my items and keep Black Rose topped up. Yes, okay. And in the other games, you're allowed to beef yourself up a lot more. Also, your stats get to be a little bit higher. You're a little bit more resistant to a lot of the bullshit. Like I said, this is easily the worst offender. But now, we're right at the end. We know exactly how much health he has. I believe he has some healing skills, but also, you can see just how much the actual damage pumping out. Being able to hurt it is not where I am at my weakest. It's being able to not die to it. Alright, I also want to be able to pop a speed charm on Black Rose again. Because right now, Black Rose is basically the entirety of anybody that can actually hurt him. Alright, let's go back to a Mage's Soul, Black Rose. Pop one on me too, just in case I get the opportunity to wail on him. Alright, he is definitely about to go into something, isn't he? I don't like that he's just sitting there menacingly. Alright, gotta heal Black Rose. I think this is it. I don't think he's gonna go through any other big skills. He's got too little health now. So this is where the game hits you with that, oh, you thought that was it? Remember when we found the statue of Aura, they referred to many different names. The only ones that we were able to read, I believe, was Skeith, Enos, and Magus. And the funny thing is that was Skeith. You would assume that the following is going to be Enos, but no, we are about to see the real big bad at the core of all of this. Nothing says big fantasy villain like basically a world tree heart god of death. God, Helba's so cool. Black Rose is dominating. Interpret that how you will. At the heart of it all, there's a heart. There's a very big, angry heart.
Kubia.
The very thing that is going to end up dealing with me one day. Imagine being transported into a video game like it's Code Lyoko or something, and the system forgets to transport your... Oh, they're just floating in the
We had come
teleporter.
so
No!
far.
Oh, that's a terrible thought. Roids are so much better in video games. You never need to worry about the case of shrunken head.
But we knew so little. The
And
true
now...
battle was about to begin.
Alright, and like I said, the first disc, the first game, is definitely the weakest of the story. But it's still... It sets up a lot of building blocks. So I'm looking forward to being able to play some of the other games in the near future. One of the big deals is this character that we played, the items that we've gathered, the money that we've earned, the money that we've spent, all of that gets carried over into the next disc. The next disc also brings in a lot more areas and a lot more player characters as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I also, again, love the Matrix here, kind of like feeding into the character words here. The first disc would just be setup, so it makes sense. It would be the weakest. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Also, if you look into the price points of these games, the fourth disc is phenomenal. There is so much that finally gets built up into the finality of it. There is so much big story weight that finally gets its payoff. Again, when you're playing a JRPG across 4 separate discs, getting to that payoff point, it's kind of a really fun wrap up. There is also a lot of tie-in, I believe, across the next couple of discs for additional bonus content, tie-ins to the anime, to some of the other novels, the expanded lore. You're going to get a lot of the history of the world. And again, we saw a couple of those rooms that were like really weird. I think we saw one that was like a bunch of teddy bears, right? We're going to see more of those, and we are going to learn a lot more about the head case that is the lead programmer of this game. And we're going to learn a lot about Aura, despite the fact that now Aura is unfortunately unavailable to us. And of course, I'm going to sit here and run through the entirety of the credits, because we do that every time anyways, and there is some post-game content that I want to at least talk a little bit about when it shows up, but I also am not planning to stream all of that. I will do that in my own time, and that will be cleared, and I believe I should be able to have everything unlocked in the Book of 1000 by the time I get around to starting the next disc. But the next couple of streams, I have some creature collector games that have been, again, sidelined for a little bit that I would like to go back to and play for a little bit. I also have some Steam cleaning. We are now getting near the end of spring, which was the original intention for the namesake for Steam cleaning, but some Steam cleaning streams that I want to get out there as well. I have a couple of one-off really cool games to play to showcase, especially since we are going to be getting some Steam sales coming up, because we are getting into some of these seasons for some of these to start going on. I believe there's usually the summer sale, so I'd like to showcase a couple of really cool games for people to check out. I believe some of them are also digital releases on the Switch and the Switch 2 as well, so when I get around to those ones, if there's anything that strikes anyone's interest, you'll be able to find those on those platforms at the very least, if not further. All right, there we go. Cleared data. Roy at Bandai, the Giant of Heavens. Have you seen the mystical giant in the heavens of the Delta areas? By the way, yes. In fact, if you play through the Delta worlds and you look up, there are some areas where you can see something flying in the sky. It is a giant man that is just kind of like made out of stone floating in the sky. That creature is now an actual dungeon. And there is some big... I believe you can get a lot of rare items here for your characters. And this is where they're telling you that you can carry over your data, which is kind of a big deal. And we got a couple... Oh, wait, Bigfoot! A massive Bigfoot investigation began in a suburb of Redding in the Oregon state today. There have been many sightings of Bigfoot recently, and city officials hoped it would revive tourism in the area. Although they have been unable to capture the creature, the barbecue party featuring local mountain recipes was a great success. City officials are pleased with the result. Yeah, you know, gotta lie about Bigfoot to beef up tourism. Alright, wait, hold on, is this a Death Note reference? Anyways, I think this is gonna be the wrap up here. I will be clearing out that bonus dungeon on my own and hopefully have things well set up for this. Anyways, thank you everyone for coming along on this ride with me. And looking forward to getting into some additional fun things to show you guys in the next couple of streams. As always, thank you so much. Have a good one. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.